Hey everyone, Amy here. Welcome back to my channel, Paper Therapy. Here's some fun photos that I have to scrapbook of my sons. I have one more son, but these are the two older ones. This one was trying to get taller than his brother. He is now way taller. And then this is me and my son, and this is my son and his friend. So that's the pictures for today, and I thought this was an appropriate title. So this is from my stash, and I will be using it. And these are the papers that I'm gonna be using. These two are from the mix-in, and this one here is from the Wood Grains paper pack. You have till the end of August to still order from the old core catalog, so all of these papers are still available. I first added a second mat to these three photos. I believe they're all about 3 by 5.5, something like that. And I just set them onto one mat. And now I'm adding a second darker wood green. And I hadn't fully decided which other papers I was going to bring in. I was planning to bring in more papers right from the start, but this is kind of a stash busting layout. You could use this idea with any wood grains or green papers that you have around. I did a kind of a tree theme with trees, triangle shaped trees. So here is me trying to decide how I want to put this. And because it was kind of square, it was really difficult to put on pictures that were lengthwise like this. So I decided I wanted to have the title above and underneath the picture panel there. And so I added some pencil lines and I inked up one word at a time, masking off other words. And I messed up because it just didn't go on nice and clear like I wanted it to. So what do you do when things just don't work out the way you had hoped they would? Well, you have to adjust. So I tried first to use a water brush with black ink to kind of touch up the words that didn't show up clearly. I'm using intense black ink. Maybe that was my issue. Maybe I need re-inker. I don't know exactly what happened. But yeah, it just didn't go down right. And at first I forgot the word grow for a bit too, and then I remembered and added it on. So anyway, then I remembered I had the Melissa Esplin pens, and I actually have no idea if they're putting those in the new catalog, and I will check, and if they are still available, I will link them. But they are calligraphy type pens, and I used those to fill in the to follow the lines and fill in the words, and it turned out really good. It kind of almost looks like I wrote it there, even though I had a design to sort of follow. So this is how you make trees, like just tall triangle trees. You cut your rectangle of the height you want the tree, and then you mark the center of that rectangle. And once it's marked, you're going to go from the outer corner to the marked center and slice off a triangle piece. And then the leftover triangle pieces will make a tree that's two-toned. So I'll show you that in just a minute. But here again, we mark the center, and then we go from center to outer corner on the bottom. And same thing the other way. And then I changed my mind and decided to use the plaid side. But this is how you make. So you use the two pieces and you make a two-toned tree, which is also really cute. So those are going to be the decoration on my layout. I'm going to tuck them under. So I tacked the photo mat down lightly so that I would be able to tuck things underneath without too much difficulty. So it takes a little bit of fussing and moving around until you have it the way you like it. I found out that I really liked it better when I made it go off the edge so that the tree wasn't fully on, like the side of the tree. Just something, maybe because the photos are sort of going off the edge on the other side. I also like adding the inking to the edges because it makes them a little more defined, and the edge looks kind of shadowed, so it almost looks raised even though it's not raised. I thought that the two-tone tree was really fitting for my son and his friend there, standing back to back. This is the zip strip or the branding strip that comes from the top of one of these green sheets. So I wanted to use that as a bit of a decoration on the top there, just fill up some space and bring some green over to the other side of the paper. So I added just a few little strips, and then I did some stamping as well to bring some black, because I'd done the title in black. I think comment below if the intense black ink is just not very good for masking, or maybe I just need a re-anchor. But it really did not stamp well, and I had the foamy sheet underneath and everything, so that was kind of a surprise. I thought it would really go on clear, but it didn't. I added some ink all the way around the outside just to give it a defined edge. Like I said, it's like a bit of shadowing, and it gives it a little bit more dimension. Then I brought in the Perfectly Imperfect stamp set, and these little trees are from an older Christmas winter kind of stamp set that I have. You can see it there in the top corner. So I just stamped these trees in a row. Any little tree would do. And then I fussy cut them out. And then I added one strip. This one ended up being too long, so I made another one for that top. And you'll see it just makes a cute little embellishment up there. I also felt like this layout was meant for Perfectly Imperfect because my stamping was imperfect, and when I went over it, you can't really tell on camera, but it does look a little bit more hand-drawn than if I hadn't gone over it. But adding the Perfectly Imperfect little blotches just really helped, because it's kind of like I just wrote with a calligraphy pen on there, and it spilled a little, it blotched a little here and there, and it kind of goes with the style of the title being a hand kind of written title. So in the end, I was actually quite happy with how it turned out, even though when I first stamped on that background, I was like, oh no. Those moments you're like, oh, am I going to have to use another sheet of paper? What am I going to do? There would have been other ways to fix it too. I could have done the title, cut out the pieces and in squares or whatever, and kind of staggered them like a brick fashion. You see under grow there, I also made a mistake and added a bigger blotch than I intended. I picked up ink too hard and got some on the background of the stamp. That can sometimes happen. But I cover it up with a little embellishment later on, and that works out. I had some of the wooden arrows. I believe they are also in both core catalogs. I will link them if they are. And I added them right on top of that blotch, and they just kind of disguise it. So that's perfect. So when unexpected things happen to your layout, don't give up. Just see if there's a way that you can cover it up or hide it. Add some paper, add some embellishments. Maybe you'll have to color in a stamp that didn't stamp perfectly clear with a marker carefully. You can do a lot of things to fix up little mistakes that happen. And that's the beauty of these videos, these process videos, is seeing how things can sometimes go wrong and how we can fix them up. So I'm just adding the wood embellishments, the last finishing touches, and I'll give you a close-up. This seems like a good time to remind you to hit that like button to let YouTube know that you want to see the more of this content, and subscribe to my channel if you so desire. I would really appreciate it. I appreciate all my subscribers. I'm excited to see how many new people I get from time to time. So here's a few still shots of how the layout turned out. I'm quite happy with it. I think it's fun, and I'd love to hear your comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.